guys, good morning. At least for me it's morning. It's quite early. I just woke up and made myself some tea, and it's kind of was something I was thinking about last night, that I wanted to make a video in the wee early hours of the morning about how to come out of a really tough situation. So I'm just gonna briefly go over some stuff with you guys that I've been going through. This year has been a really hard, or this last year, 2014, was a really hard year for me. I found myself in a lot of lows, and it seemed like everything kind of came crumbling down for the months of the end of October, November, and then December. So those, basically November and December, were really difficult months for me. Probably some of the most difficult months for me as an adult. Which isn't saying much because I'm only 24. But when you're young, it's like you're still trying to figure out how to deal with everything. This will be it's like when you're 20, I feel like your age 24, 25, 26, you're going through a lot of first time situations. And so with a brief background, I had found myself in the beginning of the year of 2014, I went through something really difficult, and I just didn't think I was going to make it out. I really, in my head, thought, this is over, I'm dying, it's the worst thing in the world. I was really going through a lot. I got through that, and then a lot of that a similar sort of situation happened to me again in mid to the end of October. And again, I thought, I'm not going to make it out of this. I really felt like my life is crashing down. So many things that I had really perceived it would be my future were sort of no longer there, or my future was uncertain, and things that I thought were certain were actually not. And so I had a really hard time, during when it all sort of happened around the end of October. And then I had a bunch of issues with work. So I had a lot of personal issues, and I had a lot of work issues, and they all sort of came to this head during the months of November and December, and especially during Christmas time was the worst part for me. And so I had to really work through a lot of issues that I didn't really know how to work through. And I just wanted to come on here and share with you guys how I worked through those issues. And I'm going to relate this to beauty, because if you guys can tell, I'm not wearing any makeup right now. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my skin is so much better. Let me see if I can focus this, than it has been probably in the past sort of videos that you've seen. And that's because I finally am feeling better. I think I was just kind of going through a little bit of depression, and now I'm feeling better, and I'm looking better. My body feels better. And I just think that that's important when it comes to beauty, is taking control of your life and the stress that you have. And so without further ado, I will go into basically how I am getting through my rough time. I wrote down was actually just give yourself a breakdown session. So, for me, that looks a lot like taking a hot shower and just bawling and allowing myself that time. And then once that is over, just being done with the breakdown, just done and over with, no more. And the next thing that I did was, I'm looking down because I had it on my phone, is find the things in your life that work, or that don't work, and then just cancel them out. So that sometimes looks like people who are not supportive or not understanding. There's a couple people in my life that I felt like were always prying me to talk about these issues that I just, honestly, everyone deals with their stuff differently. I don't need someone to be bothering me about talking about what the fuck I'm going through, when that's not what I need. What I need is people who are telling me what's good happening right now. Sometimes I can be really, I don't do well just continuing to go and talk about all the bad and bad and bad, especially in detail. And I'm really not trustworthy of people who want to push that information out of me. So I just had to kind of take some time for myself and just let those people kind of go, or at least tell the people that I really cared about, you're gonna need to let me come and talk to you when I need to, and that just works better for me. So you have to kind of find what works in life and what doesn't. Another thing that I had to do was I had to take a break from my business Instagram. I'm still taking a break because people are just really mean on the internet. That's just how they. That's just the truth for everyone. And I as I suffered through the issues, my personal issues, and my work issues, I just wasn't strong enough to see stuff on Instagram every day. I think a lot of times what happens too is people will feed off other people on Instagram. So if I need to get work done in order for you to be happy, I cannot go on Instagram and hear you saying that you don't like me or you don't like what I'm doing, when the only thing I can really do is go work and get that done so that you are happy, or not happy, but everything gets done that it needs to get done. So it's not helpful for me to sit there and listen to people tear me down when I really just need to go focus on making the products, packaging up the products and getting them out. So that's sort of how I sort of looked at it, was, okay, I need to take care of myself. I need to take a step away from the people who are not being supportive. I need to take a step from like my personally, the people who are not being supportive. And then with work, I need to take a step away from the Instagram where people can just say whatever it is that they want to say. And then I'll just focus on getting the work done that needs to get done, and just focus on what I can do. And so that's another thing that I wanted to bring, was a quote that I always try to keep in mind. That is, when I'm worrying and when I'm stressed out, I think about, is there something you can do about it? And if the answer, I ask myself that question, is there something I can do about this? If the answer is yes, you just need to go do it. If the answer is no, you just need to let it go. You just have to. And if you are sitting on Instagram, on your business Instagram, and there's something you can't do something about a certain specific issue, people are, upset with you for it, it's just not healthy to your situation. You just need to do what you can do. So if you can apply that to your own life, you may not be having like work issues, but you may have work issues or school issues, that if you somehow went through a really bad school or work issue at the same time as you went back through a personal issue, you're just going to have to focus on what you can get done in your school and your work, and you just have to do the best at what you can do. And still give yourself some sort of guidelines of what you won't accept, what you will accept, what you will do if something happens. Like, you just have to plan everything out for yourself, and it will give you a future sort of view. And so why that's so important is, if you don't have something that you're looking forward to in the future, it makes you more depressed, because what you start to do, and this happened to me as well, is you start to say like, oh my God, there's no future for me. There's no, like, you really start to feel like really down on your luck if you don't see that there's any, like, if you don't see the future plan, because then you can really start to feel like, if you don't have a future, like, what are you living for? So you do have to design a future plan. You have to sit down and really, really design what is for you in ahead in life. And sometimes you need to write it down too. The next thing you have to do is remember that everyone goes through these times. Too, I had to remind myself how many companies, how many business people made, screwed up. How many business people had whole years that were bad. How many business people, and this made me feel a lot better when I did the comparison, is I would think, how many businesses actually practice like bad business, like, giving their clients something that like hurts them, and then they still are in business. If that can happen, then I can just continue on and move forward. Because what happened to me was, there was an issue with people received their products late. So that is, if I can go through that, I can still come out on top. That's what I've had to tell myself, is people receive their products late. People are gonna be mad. There's probably some people who will never purchase from me again. I can still move forward. In the grand scheme of things, that is not so bad. So you have to look at it like that. And same thing with like my personal life. I just had to look at like, other people go through that. It's okay. You can still move forward. So that was really important to me, is just realizing that I'm not the only one who goes through these issues. And that's pretty much about it. I basically just wanted to share this with you guys because I think finally within like the past week or so I'm feeling a little bit better. I actually physically feel better because I was starting to physically feel sick. I was doing things like during the holidays and kind of up till recently, up to like around the beginning of January, I was doing things like going to like at night, going to sleep for like 2 hours, waking up, working, going back to sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, waking up, working, like just doing things. And then what I found is I was making mistakes. I was tired. I wasn't thinking clearly. And so I definitely feel better now. I kept my support system close. So like my mom, who's really, really supportive, she basically just, told me that it'll pass, that in my work life, people will be angry with me, and there are people who will be, there'll be people who will be pissed at me, there'll be people who will be disappointed with me, and there are people who will understand. And that's just the way that it is. And I just have to accept that. And there's a lot of room for more customers, as I go in the future. And now I'll never have another situation like this. And I'll also never let my I'm never ever, now that I've gone through this, I'll never let my personal life influence my work life this much, because you do have to. I think one thing I learned this year, or this sort of holiday season, was you have to have a separation between your personal life and your work life, and you have to be able to differentiate those so that when you're going through what you're going through in your personal life, it's not going to affect your work life. So I'm going to be 25 in June. I feel like this whole situation actually made me a stronger person, made me a better person. I learned a lot about patience and my own emotions, and I really just realize that I can make it through things, because like I said before, there were moments during November and December where I thought I'm not gonna make it through this. I don't know if I was gonna die or not. Like, I don't know what was going through my head, but I really thought I'm not gonna make it through this. Like, I can't do it. I'll just be over, I guess. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but in my mind I really thought there was, I don't know, I had these extreme emotions where I believed that, like, I'm gonna be alone forever. I'm not gonna have a new job. I'm just gonna like be homeless, or I don't know, like what I thought. And so I really let the emotions get the best of me. Now that I know that I can make it through this, I'm prepared for the next thing, because I'm sure that this won't be the last time that I have a, emotional sort of breakdown. I'm sure it won't be the last time that work and personal life have issues. So I feel like this is a good year for me. I feel like I'm starting off with learning a lot of stuff. I feel like there's always a silver lining through the storm, and that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm just sort of getting to the silver lining. I feel better, and I want to thank a lot of you who have been so kind to me. And actually, I get emotional thinking about this because a lot of you guys have helped me feel a lot better, and I'm so thankful, because there are moments when you feel really alone, especially if you're in a place, especially during the holidays and when you're by yourself. And a lot of you guys gave me so much love and support, that it kept me going, and it made me feel like, wow, I can really do this. And I'm actually having happy tears right now, because it's amazing how people that you don't even know can be so kind. So anyways, I hope that this helps some of you guys, and if you're going through a moment of weakness, just fight through it. Don't stay in bed. Have your moment of a breakdown, and then just get over it. All right, guys, bye.